Hello everyone, I will show today my build chain lightning for pushing Abattoir of Zir. After seeing the campfire stream gameplay, I approach a more crowd control build as it looks like we will fight at the end of AOZ Dungeon 3 elites bloodseekers that can be crowd controlled, not a regular boss fight. This will make a lot more viable builds for the event as area damage and CC dependent buffs will be efficient. We could also see that defense's requirements are not as scary as it is the DPS check for higher tiers, but one death will fail the run and you will lose sigils. Plus the modifiers of dungeons are random, you can face any against your build, so I did invest a lot in defenses, capped armor, and resistances. But I will recommend use the crafting pot 500 plus armor to go over 14,000 armor in fight. I do not have max rolls on armor affixes. It will go even higher if have so. The armor pot crafted version should be accessible and permanent sustain to anyone at this point of the end game. Unlike my previous builds, for such challenging event I do use a uber unique and also have ready 2 others if I feel they are needed in pushing higher tiers. You can play without them in same build. I will point them out in the gear showcase. In the first day of the event starting, I will update this video planner and post new video 2 with showcase of gameplay during AOZ and adjustments for new glyph. The event pushing tiers also looks to be most relevant to how much you do level up the new glyph. With my build, I am confident enough I can farm new glyph XP fast and safe with possibly making adjustments as I go up in tiers. I will do video updates with my chain lightning progression on my channel during December. Although as mentioned in previous video, I am short on time this month, we'll still try to maybe update my previous builds to Ball Lightning, Fireball, Blizzard, and Charge Bolts. I do believe that all of them, not only Ball, can perform very well at least in the early tiers to farm glyph XP. That is because we do not have a regular boss at the end, and all my previous builds were already blasting on map tier 100. Enchantment's Frozen Orb to enable chill synergy and extra Tau Rasha element buff. Ball Lightning for the great DPS boost. It will trigger crazy amount of times as we are close to 100% crit chance with Chain Lightning passive, ESU boots, and Vampiric Power. Depending on how higher tier push looks, Flicker boots might be more viable, but on early stage farming glyph XP, I will go for ESU crit chance and movement speed. If do not have Shaco Uber Unique, easy swap for Godslayer will bring great synergy with the pulls. Sure, still aim for getting Shaco if possible. Now to the full gear showcase, followed by Vampiric Powers, Skill Tree, and Paragon. You will be close to 16,000 health, 9,200 armor or more if have better rolls than me on armor affixes. 10,000 armor if use pop. All this without counting disobedience buff that will bring you over 14,000 as shown early in video during fight. I will start my pushing with ESU boots and will update with my progression videos if I get better results with Flicker when we encounter higher DPS checks. Flicker and the Uber Staff Avarian maybe. I will try all possibilities in higher tiers, but till tier 10, I will go with the current build and focus to level up new glyph. We do not really need to bow for mana sustain on chain, so this it is at any point a flex for full DR pants. The damage buff though is too good. We'll see in higher tiers if swap them and then free up armor affix on amulet and some DR investment. If you do not have Shaco Uber Helm, might be good idea use DR Pants to counter the loss of damage reduction Shaco provides and use Godslayer Helm. Godslayer Helm will not really be a big downgrade, can boost a lot DPS during timer, and the pulls it provides will help on map to stack all enemies. Then each mob will spawn Ball Lightning enchant and hit all stacked enemies. Armor plus affix on amulet as there is no place for it unless you use DR Pants. 2 other damage reduction and favor get here DR from distant enemies to balance it, as we have close DR from Tabo. I recommend use plus rank of Hoarfrost as we permanent chill for passive buff multiplier, and sometimes even freeze with Frozen Orb enchantment. This is just my current best amulet for my build, so I play with plus rank Glass Cannon. Tal Rasha ring with 4 elements buff and recharging ring for infinite mana sustain. On the Vampiric Powers, Sanguine Brace for critical chance. Next power domination, as saying again, it looks like AOZ will not have a boss fight at the end, but 3 elite Bloodseekers that can be crowd controlled. Beside that, on map density in higher tiers, the execute of trash mobs would help too. Anticipation to reduce cooldown of ultimate that coupled with overflow energy key passive will get us ultimate back very fast. Infection for 4th element buff on Tal Rasha, and the Ravenous Power for attack speed buff. Other items I will keep testing going up in tiers. During my progress, I will update with videos and planners if any variation will perform better in higher tiers. Uberstaff Ahavarion, we do not really know how the AOZ looks over tier 10 as that was all seen in Campfire, but it might come in the end to the usage of Uberstaff and be dependent on random shrine buffs. I do not like personally that RNG can make such a difference in AOZ, neither the actual shrine existence inside event. I don't see the point of big RNG factor in challenges. But anyway, I will make one build variation with it too during December. Here you can do some shenanigans in very high tiers gear swap with Andariel Uber Helm if have it. Like get the poison buff from Andariel then swap the helm. This way can free Vampiric Power spot. I won't bother with this but pointing out is possible. The resistances are capped Paragon with high item power jewelry plus intelligence stat 900. All damage reduction in fight is close to 63% with the passive buffs. I do go for a big chunk of damage reduction from chilled enemies, 43%, as we are almost permanent apply chill with enchantment Frozen Orb. And by the looks of Campfire gameplay, even the final boss elite's Bloodseekers can be crowd controlled. Skill tree. First 2 points are irrelevant, they are just to unlock core skills. You will see many skills blue leveled up +4 as I have Shaco equipped, but only the skills I hover are invested. Frozen Orb for enchantment. With high attack speed we have. An Enchantment Master legendary node you will permanent chill all enemies and sometimes freeze, especially during ultimate. Going for greater chain lightning DPS multiplier that can stack very high. Unlike my previous seasonal build, I do not go more for crackling DPE's legendary node. We'll see in high tiers AOZ group density if is worth go back that route. The +3 ranks on Glass Cannon are from Amulet Affix, like said during Gear Showcase, try get plus rank Hoarfrost instead. 2 points in Align Elements as the final bosses might end up being a kite fight in very high tiers. I might even go 3 points if it is need. Mana Shield for permanent extra DR and protection for constant barrier. Lightning Spear constant stuns as we do have very high crit chance. Ball Lightning as second enchantment, we will get a lot of triggers as Chain it is one of the best for lucky hit, and we do have almost 100% crit chance on it fully buffed. In very high tiers can have advantage play ranged and kite enemies while drop plenty balls from distance in stacked groups. Crackling energy generation is more to keep Paragon glyph buff up. We'll see after get the new glyph what adjustments I make about crackling. Have to see if does have the area damage enough for higher AOZ tiers. Also, crackling generation from ball enchantment will reduce our ultimate, teleport, and lightning spear cooldowns with overflow energy key passive. We'll look into higher tiers if flicker boots plus Vire passive might be needed. As mentioned on the way of skill tree, Frozen Orb and Ball Lightning as enchantments, permanent chill synergy, and great DPS boost. Now to the Paragon board. The resistances are capped Paragon with high item power jewelry plus intelligence stat 900. So if do any swaps on gear care, on adjust them. Also if have low item power jewelry as they provide innate all resistances, although you should be going AOZ only with high item power. There are in Paragon some close spots to easy adjust for more resistance if need. Second board Enchantment Master. Paragon has more focus on crowd control buffs as again, say the Campfire gameplay showed us no regular boss fight at the end of dungeon, but 3 elites Bloodseekers that can be crowd controlled. That makes huge difference compared with a standard tier 100 build, as we can permanent have CC dependent buffs, not need to consider many adjustments for boss DPs outside stagger. Third board Icefall to get a big chunk of damage reduction from chilled enemies. Total 43% extra DR permanent, as we do apply it with Frozen Orb in very high attack speed. This approach I think will pay off better now with Tal Rasha ring introduced and Frozen Orb enchantment synergy. I have decided to go and the extra armor from the Burning Instinct board so I can have enough defenses for any random modifiers we might get in AOZ, giving up for it on the Ceaseless Conduit board and Legendary Node, as is hard to believe has enough area damage to fight higher tiers of AOZ. We'll have to test that more in practice. Fifth board, Burning Instinct to grab extra armor and DR elites. On the first day of AOZ, after I get the new glyph and do all the testing about it, I will update the planner Paragon of this video and also make a new video with new glyph build and AO's gameplay too. There will be sure adjustments in Paragon when I will add the new glyph, but the core synergies will stay the same. On the last board, grab Static Surge Legendary Node for constant vulnerable apply and extra mana sustain. Thank you for watching and for support. Even though I am short on time during December, I will try to update for AOZ some of my previous builds too at a slower pace. But my main goal it is to do the push with Chain Lightning, as it is my favorite skill. See you on 5, and remember to have fun in AOZ.